And we are back, and well, hello and welcome here to this UEFA Champions League prediction video, as today we will be predicting all the ties of the Champions League quarter-final first leg. And let me tell you, it's getting close now. The date's getting close until we will see two of these teams fight it out at Wembley Stadium on the 1st of June. That is how far this is getting. This is how close this is getting. The Champions League, let me tell you, has only just begun, and it will be finishing once that winner lifts the Champions League trophy on the 1st of June. That is when we know the 2023-24 winners of the UEFA Champions League. But just like that then, let's get underway. And first of all, let me talk to you about the games that will be happening on Tuesday. So first of all, we are going off to Madrid for this game between Real Madrid and Manchester City. First versus third in their domestic leagues. The Champions League winner of 2023 versus the Champions League winner of 2022. This is the game that, well, always entertains. You do know, recently, when Real Madrid and Manchester City have took place, they have been high scoring. Obviously, the game last year was a 1-1 draw here, and then, well, the miracle happened the year before that when Real Madrid were looking like they were going out. It looked like it didn't look good for them. It was 5-1, it was 5-3, sorry, going into the 88th minute. Karim Benzema produced with a goal out of nowhere, and then, well, basically 5-3, getting knocked out of the competition until Rodrigo scored a double, and then Karim Benzema scored in extra time, which sent Real Madrid through to the Champions League final. But yeah, ultimately, this is the game that, well, is absolutely massive. And this is the game that a lot of people are saying will predict the winner of the Champions League. Personally, I don't know if it will, but it wouldn't surprise me if it does. Obviously, Manchester City, they are a force to be reckoned with. Nevertheless, Manchester City, you know that when you play Manchester City, it is not going to be an easy game. That is what you know when you are playing the might of Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. However, the same could also go to Real Madrid's Carlo Ancelotti team. I mean, the 1-1 draw against RB Leipzig did struggle them a bit. However, they beat Celta Vigo 4-0, they beat Osasuna 4-2, and beat Atlético Club 2-0. However, Athletic Club probably weren't bothered about that game. They were more bothered about the Copa del Rey final that I did do a live stream on. Check that out. Link will be below. Link will be above. But yeah, that is how Real Madrid's done it. But the problem with Real Madrid is 4 of the first players could potentially, well, be out of the game. They could potentially be out for the second game against Manchester City. And, well, that is what we know. We know that Jude Bellingham is a player that, well, he could be risky. He could be risky. Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Eduardo Camavinga, and Oriol Tchouameni have all got 2 yellow cards. That means if they do get a yellow card in this game, they will be banned for the game against Manchester City. Which, well, Manchester City at the Etihad, which none of them want. None of them players want. They want to be playing for, well, Real Madrid or Manchester City and, well, test themselves out. They want to be doing that, seeing how they do. And if they do get a yellow card, that means we'll be banned for the second leg. And the second leg, for me, is the most pivotal, because I think at the Etihad, Manchester City could potentially beat Real Madrid. So, it's like that. Who knows how it can be affected. Jude Bellingham will have to be safe, and he will have to, well, produce if Los Blancos want to go through in this time. So, for me, it wouldn't surprise me. They are undefeated in, well, the last 20-odd games. The last game they did lose, actually, was on the 6th of December against Aston Villa. So you know that they're a type of team that will like to play on the road. So I am going to say, you know what, I'm going to go and say 2-1 to Manchester City. I think Real Madrid will obviously try and will make this a fortress. And they will do. Obviously, with Los Blancos, you know what they will do. However, Manchester City are just that different breed. They're a different breed, but, well, a better. And obviously, the 0-0 draw against Arsenal was a pivotal moment, but that was because, well, they were cancelling each other out. Real Madrid won't do that. Real Madrid are a team that will want to counter-attack. They will want to break you. They will want to break that tiki-taka press and go all out and try and get the goal. That is what Real Madrid tend to do. However, I don't think it will work. That's why I'm saying it'll be 2-1 to Manchester City. I think Erling Haaland will get on the score sheet. I think he will be fit for this one. Jude Bellingham will get one there for Real Madrid, 1-1. And then first, second, I will say Bernardo Silva will get the second one to make this a 2-1 win to Manchester City. So now then, we are going to move back up north to London for this game between Arsenal and Bayern Munich. And, well, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have said this exact same question. Arsenal are going to lose 10-2 on aggregate. Well, fast forward 5 years later, it turns out Arsenal are actually the better team than Bayern Munich, and looks like Arsenal are going to beat Bayern Munich. Yes, how times have turned, indeed. And yeah, that's all I think. I think at the minute, Arsenal can beat Bayern Munich. They can beat them. I mean, Bayern Munich at the minute are at their lowest point they've been in over 15 years. And they have been. It's like, they're going to lose the title. They're 16 points behind Bayer Leverkusen. If Bayer Leverkusen win against Werder Bremen on Saturday, they win the league. So, yeah, that will be the first time in 11 years that, well, Bayern Munich haven't won the league. They're sacking Thomas Tuchel at the end of the season, which I think is the best move. But I feel like for them, Bayern Munich will have to be thinking, this is it. This is our season. Our season is riding on this. If we lose, our season is dull as dishwater. If we win, then the season will probably be saved, and it will most probably be saved, and Thomas Tuchel will probably get an extension if they win the Champions League. So, yeah, it comes at an uncertain factor. However, Arsenal, they are playing fantastic football, you can say. They're playing fantastic football. I mean, they nullified Manchester City, which, to be honest, I can completely understand. But they're playing some really, really good football. It's like recently, after that game against Porto on penalties, they drew 0-0 against City, beat Luton 2-0, beat Brighton 3-0. Brighton are a very, very hard team to play against. And when you're beating them like that, that's a statement of an intent, that, saying, we're here. Are you coming, though? Are you coming, folks? That is what it seems like to me. It's like Arsenal are laying down their authority, they're laying down their state of intent to say, if you can do this, so can I. And that is what makes me lean towards Arsenal to win this game. And I think they'll win by quite a significant margin and all. Bayern Munich, like I said, are at the lowest. I mean, it says it all, really, if Eric Dyer is in their starting lineup. Yes, Eric Dyer, who isn't even playing under Ange Postecoglou, let alone Thomas Tuchel and Bayern Munich. That says it all. That does say all that. I mean, he was on the bench against Heidenheim, but still, it says it all if he didn't even play under Ange Postecoglou. So that, for me, pinpoints a weakness that, well, the likes of Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trossard and Kai Havertz can then go and exploit. Kai Havertz, a former Leverkusen player, as we know, will be used to playing Bayern Munich, so the pressure for him will not be as much. And I do think they will win the game, Arsenal. I do think they will win this game, and I'm going to say by a margin and all. It struggled against Porto because Porto are playing in a specific way. Bayern Munich play their simple way, which is more attacking. Now, I think Arsenal can exploit that. And I do think the likes of Declan Rice will have to be pivotal in this game if he's going to get through tackles, if he's going to make tackles against the likes of Serge Gnabry, Harry Kane, and all sorts. Harry Kane, happy hunting ground for him, I suppose, this one. He will have to be going to, well, his worst rivals of Arsenal, who he used to play for as a kid. So, I do think Arsenal will win, and I'm going to say a 2-1 Arsenal win. It's either going to be 2-1 or 3-1, I think. Actually, no, change my mind. I'm going for a 3-1 Arsenal win. I'm going for a lot. because I do think Arsenal can beat this Bayern Munich team. Bayern Munich are not the team they were, and they know that. Arsenal are the best they've been in years. So, if that makes a match in heaven, if that makes a match in heaven or a match in hell, I don't really know what does. And yeah, I think Arsenal will stake their authority. I think they will be strong, passionate. They will want to play for Mikel Arteta in this one. That's why I am going to say Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 1 for this one. And now from London, back to Madrid for the second game in Madrid for this one. But however, this game will be played on Wednesday, as this time Atlético de Madrid will be playing against Borussia Dortmund. Preferably the easiest game of the Champions League quarter-finals is here in Madrid. And well, what I say is Atlético de Madrid have beaten a better team than Borussia Dortmund have. Dortmund have beaten PSV, which they are a good team, but on paper, they're not quite the size of Inter Milan. Inter Milan are, going to be future Scudetto winners this season. So, you know that, and you beat them. You beat them on penalties, which, is still good anyway. But still, the fact that, you beat the Scudetto winners, for this season, it's pretty impressive. I'll put your hand up for them. However, Dortmund, they did beat PSV. PSV will probably win the Eredivisie, but still, it doesn't mean that they will do automatically. It doesn't particularly mean that. For PSV, it's probably best that they did get knocked out so they can focus on winning the Eredivisie, which will get them a Champions League place next season. But it is that. I think in the Champions League, Atletico Madrid have more experience at this stage than Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund haven't made it into the quarterfinals in a long time. And they haven't been in the Champions League quarterfinals for a long time. However, Atletico de Madrid, they obviously were in it a couple of years ago. We do know they were in it in the 2021-22 season. They did get knocked out against Manchester City, but at least they were in it. However, Borussia Dortmund haven't been in this stage for a long time. Actually, the last time they were in it was in the 2020-21 season during COVID. So, yeah, if that says to you something, I don't know what would. And I do think overall Atletico Madrid have better players than Borussia Dortmund. And the fact that he's here at the Wanda Metropolitano is a bit of a concern. I mean, but Dortmund did lose to Bauer Stuttgart recently, 1-0, which, was a bad defeat for them in terms of, getting the Champions League place, because now they're competing with RB Leipzig, and RB Leipzig are a very, very iffy team in it. So Borussia Dortmund could have a chance where they're not even in the Champions League next season, which, for Dortmund fans, not seeing the yellow wall in the Champions League is going to be very sad for them. It's going to be a very weird sight to behold. So, however, barring that, I am going to say Atletico Madrid will win this game. I feel like with Atletico, they're a more experienced team. They're a team that knows how to win. They're very good at home. They don't lose often at home at the Wanda Metropolitano, barring from the 3-0 loss against Barcelona. So I am going to say Atletico Madrid will win this game by 2-0. I feel like they'll equal Dortmund. They will, try and stop Borussia Dortmund, and I think they will do that perfectly, because I do think the mix of Witsel, Jimenez, Azpilicueta, Molina, and Samuel Lino will be a good part, to be fair, in terms of, what you are going to do. If you're going to win, are you going to lose? So that's why I'm going to say 2-0 win there to Atletico. Dortmund will obviously try and break up our defence, but it's hard to break up a Simeone team. It's very, very hard. I mean, Manchester City, they even struggled to break against that Simeone defence, and that's Manchester City you're on about. So I think Edin Terzic and Borussia Dortmund will do the same. So that's why I'm calling it a 2-0 Atleti win. Now, on to the final game, which is here in Paris, the city of love. For this game between Barcelona and Paris-Saint-Germain. And, if you think of it, this is, on paper, the time around. However, it isn't, because Real Madrid v City is. Because, the past 3 winners of that game has won the Champions League. But I think this is a sneaky one. Obviously, Luis Enrique facing against his former team of Barcelona. Dembele facing against his former team of Barcelona. It's going to be a bit of a bittersweet reunion. And the last time PSG did actually face Barcelona in this stage at Paris, they did draw 1-1. However, every single PSG fan will remember La Remontada, where they won 4-0 in the first leg, having to go to Barcelona Camp Nou in the second leg, and well, Barcelona did the unthinkable. They won 6-1. And yeah, I know I am gonna put a video, I'm gonna put a picture up, because it was that legendary. La Remontada. There was an earthquake in Barcelona that day. And I'm not even joking. When Sergi Roberto scored that goal, made it 6-1 from that assist by Neymar, it went rocking. It went rocking Camp Nou. And I mean, it would do. I mean, you've just beaten 6-1. But it was rocking. You were there. They were jumping up to joy. You could see Luis Enrique, former Barcelona manager, jumping up for joy. You can tell what it meant to be a Barcelona manager that year. It was massive, absolutely massive, remontada. And for me, it will still always be the best comeback in football. It will still always be the best comeback in football. And I know you will get loads of people saying it isn't, other games are. For my opinion, and for a lot of Barcelona fans and a lot of Paris-Saint-Germain fans, this game, this comeback, 4-0 down, 6-1 was the best comeback you will see in football. And I'm calling it right now. But on to this game. This game will obviously be a bit of a 50-50 game. I do think Barcelona are favourites. I do think that. Because Paris Saint-Germain, they're a team that are a bit shaky. I mean, drawing against the bottom of the league. I mean, come on. At home, you drew to the bottom of the league. You had to rely on an 85-minute Gonçalo Ramos goal to, well, keep you out of the shit, really. I mean, if you would have lost that game to Clermont Foot, now come on, the bottom of the league, that would have said something. That would have said volumes there for Les Parisiens. But, well, they didn't. They obviously drew 1-1. Barcelona, on the other hand, they're a team that were doing really well. I mean, ever since the Napoli scoreline, they beat Atlético de Madrid 3-0 and they beat Las Palmas 1-0, managed by former Barcelona B manager García Pimienta. So that obviously gets you back. And it's all about form, for my opinion, in the Champions League. If you have good form, you'll do well. Simple as that. And I think Barcelona have better form. However, going to this place is going to be hard. And it will be. Every time you go away to a European ground, you know it's going to be hard. And well, for Barcelona, for Paris fans, it's going to be a hard game, this. It's going to be a very, very nervy game. And for me, a hard one to call. But I think it could potentially be a draw. And I see this potentially being a draw. I think Barcelona will be ready for this. I think Paris Saint-Germain will be ready for this. I have a sneaky feeling Paris Saint-Germain might win 2-1. Because Luis Enrique knows how to play against these. He knows the style. Mbappe's been up against Barcelona for a while. He knows how they play. However, it's Xavi ball. Xavi does know how to do stuff compared to PSG. When Xavi was manager and, well, they did win 4-1 at the Camp Nou, it was that. That was basically why. So, I think here, at the Parc des Princes, I'm going to say it will be a 2-1 Paris Saint-Germain win. However, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could be a draw, could be a Barca win, I don't know. But I am saying 2-1 Paris Saint-Germain, Mbappe will get 2 goals, Lamine Yamal will get a goal, 2-1 to Paris Saint-Germain is my prediction for this one. However, I am going to predict my ultimate winner of the Champions League just now. And I think the winner will be Manchester City. I know, I'm boring, boo. But I do think they will win the Champions League this season. I can see them winning this Champions League this season. I just think they're the best team in it. I do really think they're the best team in it. So I think with Atlético Dortmund, I think Atlético de Madrid will get through that. PSG v Barcelona, I think Barcelona will get through PSG. So it will be an Atlético Madrid-Barcelona game. Arsenal v Bayern Munich, I do think Arsenal will go through. I can see Arsenal going through. It won't surprise me if Bayern Munich go through. But Arsenal, this is their best chance to go through, like I said earlier in the video. So I think Arsenal will go through. Manchester City, I think, will beat Real Madrid overall in 2 legs, which will make it Atlético de Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal v Manchester City. I can see Barcelona beating Atlético de Madrid. Then I can see Manchester City beating Arsenal, which means the final will be the Pep Guardiola derby, Barcelona versus Manchester City. And I'm going to say Manchester City will win the second consecutive Champions League. I just think they are. They are the best team in the world, in my opinion. They are the best team in the world. They know how they play. They know how they do play. And I think, overall, at the end of the day, Manchester City will come home. Xavi will try. And I actually do think Xavi will stay on if they do get to the Champions League final. He said he's leaving, but I don't know if he will. If Barcelona get to the Champions League final, I think knowing Barcelona's owner, knowing him, they will give him an extension. I think. Don't get me wrong. So Juan Laporta will give him a contract, I am saying, if they do get to the Champions League final. However, I don't think it'll be enough to stop City. So my opinion, I'm saying my prediction will be Barcelona versus Manchester City. Manchester City will win the UEFA Champions League. And just like that then, I will get going. So if you did like that video, if you do say something, it would really mean a lot to me, but you didn't have to. As I shall go. See you soon. Stay safe. Talking to you lot then in the next one. See ya. And bye-bye.